What's up, everybody? In this video, I have one of my coaching students on a Zoom call with me, and we're talking about how he had one of the best days of his career, getting 11 leads in a single day, absolutely knocking it out of the park. We're going to dive deep exactly how he went from, a rookie agent to now generating 11 leads in a single day. Let's dive right into the video. So what's up, Chris? Thank you for joining me. I always appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
Always. I want to dive into it. We just spoke about this morning. I thought it was so amazing. I wanted to have you on the YouTube channel. So let's talk about yesterday. You said you got 11 leads. What type of leads were you calling? And we're going to break down everything so everyone who's watching the video will have an understanding of how they can do it too.
Yeah, so 6 out of the leads were previous leads that I've been spoken to, turn them from nurture to actual leads that we're about to have conversations with, set appointments with, and so on.
Cool. So these were like long-term leads that you had a very brief conversation with at some point, and now they're ready to do something. Love that.
Yeah, we had a call or two, exchange a text message, but nothing too serious out of it.
Cool. And then the rest of the leads, let's talk about that.
The other 5 were actually cold call leads. Took about 6 hours. It was upwards of 400 and something dials. 4 of them they're going to turn to nurture leads. Another one's a very hot lead that we're going to aim to set an appointment with on Monday. So,
and he's got like 3 properties, right?
Correct.
So it's like 3 deals in one. Love that. So, okay, let's break things down like you just said. So number one, you knocked it out of the park with the follow-up, which I absolutely love, right? Because a lot of people will do the initial part, which we're going to talk about in a second, the cold prospecting, but you did the work on the follow-up where now you're generating true awesome leads from that. So great job.
Yep,
Second thing I heard you say was that you made over 400 dials. Did I hear you correctly?
You did hear me correctly.
All right, cool. So out of the 400 dials, how long did that take you?
Right. It topped a little over 6 hours.
6 hours to make 400 dials. So I'm going to do this live real quick with you guys on the calculator, just so you guys can really understand this for a second, right? So let's break down the numbers. 400 dials divided by 6 hours, right? So it's about 67 dials an hour. I'm guessing you used a dialer.
Most of it was a dialer, and some of it was the follow-up lead, so I was hand dialing it, but yeah, a good mix of both.
Dialing 67 people an hour. And again, what type of leads was that? So you were calling, what were you specifically calling?
The majority of them was just circle prospecting, multifamily homes in our neighborhood, in our area.
And then that led to quite a number of leads, which is fantastic. So it took you 6 hours to do those 4 hours of dials. Let's talk about the conversations you're having. So what you were having typical circle prospecting script kind of conversations. Is that accurate?
Along the lines of that, yeah. Just asking to see if they consider hearing offers on the property, as most of them were more commercial type rather than residential.
Yep.
Say 75% of them were commercial, another 25% were residential. But again, I've spoken to them before. Most of them didn't even remember me because the conversations had been so long ago, but actively working on the follow-up.
Love that. So, all right. So let's talk about now the big question, right? Because you've been, been an agent for how long now?
Coming up on a year, about 11 months, 11 and a half.
Cool. So just under a year. Let's talk about the major shifts, because I think there was 2 or 3 major shifts I want to really talk about. That's the main part of this video. Okay. Because now that we broke down the numbers, let's talk about the main shifts. You went from calling an average of how many hours a day to now yesterday, you said how many hours did you work yesterday?
2 or 3 on average. Work total yesterday was around 12 or 13 hours, and six and a half were actually calling.
Cool. All right. So I want to break this down because I want people to really hear this. On average, you were making 2 to 3 hours worth of calls.
Correct.
And then yesterday you decided to basically 2 to 3x that. What takeaways did you have from that?
I need to do that more often. Stick to the schedule. And
well, let's talk about why. Because I've been preaching this for a long time, because I want people to really hear this. Why would you continue to do that?
Main reason was Monday had a very rough day. It was around 3.5 to 4 hours of calls. I got near nothing out of it and stressed me out. I went to the gym. I was incredibly stressed out. I was thinking I could have done more. I should have done more. So I told myself, tomorrow you're going to do 6 hours minimum, and you're not going to stop until you get 1 piping hot lead.
You're just done. That's it. That's my new standard, right? I'm not stopping until I get it.
Yeah. I mean, I worked Monday, but did I get anything out of it? Not really, no. And that's a pretty tough feeling.
I can understand that. So you basically you drew a line in the sand and you're like, I'm not stopping until I get X, Y, or Z result, right?
Exactly.
So what I'm hearing you say here is that basically you made a decision. You made a definitive decision that we're like, this is my goal. I'm either hitting it or I'm dying trying.
Exactly. 100%.
Beautiful. Okay, cool. So I like that, right? First and foremost, that's the schedule part of it. Now let's talk about, and I like that touched on the attitude part. I want to talk about the attitude a little bit more, because a lot of people go dude, that's that is a ton of time. That is a ton of time to allocate. Why would you repeat that? Attitude wise, energetically.
I look at it 2 ways. If you're not prospecting and you're not following up, what are you doing? You have to do one of the 2. And most importantly, to be able to follow up, you need to prospect to get to that point to be able to follow up. It's not an easy business. It's a very simple business. There's 2 main steps.
Beautifully said. Tell the audience right now who's listening, how did you feel after that day?
Incredible. I went to the gym super late at night. I had one of the best workouts ever. Wasn't stressed going to sleep worrying about the following day. I just knew I had to repeat it and good things would come out of it.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So beautifully said. We talked about the scheduling change. We talked about the attitude change. Now let's talk about, for those of you who are watching and go well, that's great for you, Chris. right? Because like, again, maybe they're just starting out in their career. If you were to tell yourself one main takeaway, one big reason why this was so powerful for you to now see firsthand, what would you tell yourself starting in this business?
I tell myself, do not be afraid of the phones. And I love to look at it like the more no's you get, a yes is bound to come. We were talking about luck this morning, actually. I don't believe you get lucky by getting a good call. It's more of a probability. If you keep doing it, good things will come. It's inevitable.
Boom! That's a freaking mic drop if I ever heard one. Absolutely beautifully said. We make our own luck by the effort we put into a daily basis. So I love the way you said that. Let's do one last takeaway. What is something that you're going to commit to doing going forward after having such an amazing day yesterday?
I mean, last week I would have told you I'm committing to 2 days a week of 6 hours of calls minimum. The other days, obviously, I'm going to get my calls in 3 to 4 hours like normal. But I think now I'm going to commit to 3 days a week of the 6 hours because yesterday was an amazing feeling. Today's an amazing feeling. I'm sure it's not going to wear off anytime soon. I just want to keep
100%. And I really, the last thing we're going to talk about here, guys, so pay attention to this, right? I love the fact that you didn't say 7 days a week. Most people think it's either or, right? It's either you go from like 2 hours, a couple days, right? Or to 7 days a week, every single hour. It's just not realistic.
And that's how I felt in the beginning too. It almost seems like such a big hurdle to get over. Doing it for 6-7 days a week, you're not going to actually even start to do it.
Exactly.
I actually was watching one of your videos. I don't know if it was the last one that was posted. It was in the last few weeks. You said consistency is key. You'd rather someone do 1 hour a day rather than 10 hours 1 day a week. It's all about just building it up slowly.
Correct. And you're building it up slowly. So I just want to say I'm proud of you. Keep it up. You're doing fantastic. Thanks for being on here and hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any questions, comments, or anything like that about future videos, make sure you put in the description down below. And if you want to be an awesome student, just like Chris, and join one of our coaching programs, there's also a link in the description for you to jump on one of the calls with us today. So other than that, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.